When former Georgia All-American Matt Stinchcomb made the transition from football to the business world, it was a case of life imitating art. Having established himself as a player who was adept at protecting quarterbacks from harm, Matt now makes his living protecting business clients from harm as a risk management and employee benefits executive for Seacrest Partners. Looking back at his football career, which included 7 seasons in the NFL as a first-round draft choice of the Oakland Raiders and later as a member of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Matt does consider protecting quarterbacks to be an art form and an underappreciated one. "I'm tired of quarterbacks getting all the credit," says Matt, who has raised his voice intentionally in hopes of engaging his Seacrest colleague, former Georgia quarterback David Green, in a mock argument. "People think offensive linemen are goons," says Matt. "Sure, you've got to be strong, but it's incumbent on an offensive lineman to be intelligent enough to help implement the plays that the quarterback calls." When a Sports Illustrated writer conducted an historical analysis of Wonderlic scores, which pro football executives use to gauge mental capacity, offensive tackles, the position that both Matt and his younger brother John played at Georgia, recorded the highest average scores. And in the case of the Stinchcomb brothers, we're not just talking football smarts. Both Matt and John were classroom stars all the way through school. "In my family, school was considered our job," says Matt, who was a straight-A student in honors classes at Parkview High School in suburban Atlanta. Schoolwork was a high priority because he comes from a long line of educators, including his mother Karen, his stepmother Estelle, plus a pair of aunts and his maternal grandmother. For a player who didn't throw, run with, or catch the football, a player with virtually no individual statistics for sports writers and fans to bandy about, Matt's bio page in the 1998 Georgia Football Guide was longer than any other player on the team because of the number of athletic and academic honors he received. "I had Matt in a legal studies class," says UGA Provost Jerry Moorhead, who is the university's chief academic officer. "He was well prepared, he voiced strong opinions, and he never asked for special favors because of football." There were 120 students in that class, and Matt had the highest average. Undeterred by the demands of playing major college football, Matt graduated from Georgia in 3.5 years, recording a 4.0 in all but 2 of his quarters in school. His overall GPA was 3.96. His NFL resume includes a trip to the Super Bowl in 2003 as a member of the Oakland Raiders, but a back injury ended his pro football career prematurely. When David Green also hung up his NFL spikes, he and Matt began mapping out a joint business career. "We kicked tires in a lot of places," says Matt, who was named to the UGA Alumni Association's inaugural 40 Under 40 recognition list. "But in the end, we were drawn to the team-oriented atmosphere at Seacrest Partners." Seacrest Partners was ranked in the top 20 on the most recent Bulldog 100 list of the fastest-growing UGA-owned and operated businesses. And Seacrest's managing partners Cindy Robinette and Vice Chairman Cliff McCurry are among 11 Terry graduates on the Seacrest team. Matt met his future wife, Jennifer Jackson, in high school. She was part of a large contingent of Parkview grads who went to Auburn, and she and Matt didn't start dating till later. They had 3 young children, Janie 7, Addie 5, and Whit 2. And when time permits, Matt is embarking on yet another career as a football commentator for the SEC Network and ESPNU. Matt Stinchcomb is a young man of many talents, says nominator Cliff McCurry. He is a member of the Terry College Young Alumni Board, and his extensive mentoring and volunteer activities began during his college years when he was twice named to the American Football Coaches Good Works team. He and his brother John have established the Stinchcomb Family Foundation and the Countdown to Kickoff Charities, which raise both money and awareness for Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. In recognition of all that he has meant to the university, Matt was recently named to the UGA's Circle of Honor, the highest level of distinction that a student-athlete can achieve. The Terry College is proud to present its 2012 Outstanding Young Alumni Award to Matt Stinchcomb.